and we're all in Nigeria, so we experience what the problem is. I think our biggest challenge is when we compare ourselves to a few platforms who are outside of Nigeria, across the continent or across the globe. There's a lot more platforms like Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, and the likes. I'd be more open to platforms like ours. But for us, when it comes from Africa, it's a bit much more difficult to be able to get to the level where we want to get to. So we have to like pretty much work double the time to be able to get the results that you would see us have right now. My name is Aki, and I'm live with Nexus Tech Talk. Hi, my name is Aki, and I'm the CEO and founder at Activate. We are building the creator operating system for Africa, where creators can easily earn by collaborating with brands and being able to be discovered, being able to collaborate, and being able to make sure that they can easily get paid as quickly as possible in different currencies. We've been able to do this for the past couple of years, and it's been an interesting journey so far. What inspired me to start the company? I think while running my previous company, where we were trying to run some marketing campaigns and we're trying to look for creators, it was a very, very daunting task. We ended up spending months and didn't get any value for the amount of money that we spent. And that was something that also kind of like just stuck with me. I think I've also like spent some time speaking with a lot of creators, and one interesting thing is that creators don't earn that much money because they spend a lot of time doing outreach, and it's hard for them to be discovered by brands who are looking to run campaigns. So for us, it's being able to just bridge that gap where either being in a small business or a large business, they can easily be found and they can actually jump on a campaign because they are the best fit for the campaign. So what we've been able to do is leverage technology to be able to provide as much data insights for the businesses to make decisions that they need when it comes to selecting the creators that they want. And then creators themselves have the opportunities to be able to see what campaigns are being run and how they can actually jump on them to make more money for themselves. I think the biggest challenge that we face so far is just being able to collaborate with a lot of the businesses are already used to a certain style and reaching out to creators. So we spent a lot of time doing a lot of education, like briefing creators on why our platform is best for them, rather than sending multiple emails that would either end up in spam or not being read. And then also on the brand side, where brands also figure out that we actually have the creators that they actually need. So it's the biggest challenge so far, just kind of like being able to do a lot of education for creators alike and businesses alike to be able to make sure that they're aligned with where we are going to and how we are trying to empower them on both sides. I mean, on the terms of your return on ad spend on the business side and on the creator side, more earnings for them. I'm a football fan. I spend a lot of time on the weekends and during the week as well. Spend time watching football games, just making sure that I spend a lot of time even while I'm doing some work, just listening to things that also help me in the background stay focused as well. I also learn to spend a lot of time with my family, which also helps me relax a bit and just take morning walks. I think that's something as well that helps me. I think the thing that motivates me about what we do at Activate is just being able to increase how much money creators actually earn on a month-to-month basis. So, I mean, if you look at the reports from the Creator Economy Report, which was published, I think, a few months ago, about a month or two ago, creators don't actually earn a lot of money. A lot of them actually earn less than $100 a month. For us, we want to move that number from just $100 to about $200, $300, $400, $500, and just make sure that the number or the percentages goes as high as the creators, especially in Nigeria, going to sub-Saharan Africa, can be as high as 20%, who are earning as high as $500 a month, and make being a creator become like a full-time job, and you can earn well from it. We see that with a few creators, but we want to make sure that window is way bigger and there's a lot more creators, be nano, micro, macro creators, can earn as much as possible and can be able to take care of themselves and make it their full-time job. We're all in Nigeria, so we experience what the problem is. I think our biggest challenge is when we compare ourselves to a few platforms who are outside of Nigeria, across the continent or across the globe. There's a lot more platforms like social media platforms, Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, and the likes. I'd be more open to platforms like ours. But for us, when it comes from Africa, it's a bit much more difficult to be able to get to the level where we want to get to. So we have to like pretty much work double the time to be able to get the results that you would see us have right now. That's kind of like the headache that we have. I think also because Africa or Nigeria is a very low trust market, we've seen a lot of things where we need to iterate around the product just to make sure that people get the trust that we deserve to get, I think. And over time, we kind of see people come up and understand where we're coming from in terms of the value that we bring. But I think that it's just because Africa is a low trust market, it takes a bit of time for people to adjust to what we have or what we have to offer and understand that this is something that can help their business, be it a small online Instagram vendor to a big FMCG or a telco or a bank. I think I do a lot of things that I'm doing currently because I've kind of seen myself as an entrepreneur right from time. Started this in university where I started a magazine with a few friends of mine, very interesting run, and then going into understanding how like products can work, a bit of my experience from my previous roles, and also this being like my second startup that I'm actually the founder of within this space. So I kind of like have some sort of inclination towards building stuff. Like I just enjoy building products from scratch, and also seeing them be used in real time, and also being able to help and provide some sort of impact. Because for us, it's about, at the end of the day, regardless of the money that we make and the revenues, it's more about job creation, because every single person wants to be a content creator. How do you get them jobs? That's kind of like the motive for myself right now, in terms of just being very impactful with the business that I'm running, or with the startup that I'm running, and just being able to see a lot of value being pushed around to thousands of people who are actually using the product right now. I think one of the products or projects that I worked on, well, my previous company called Bitmama, I was the COO at the company when I joined. We pretty much were still a very offline platform, helping people buy and sell Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies in general. So one of the first things was just work on the very first version 1 product that we had, and then also morphing that into another spin-off project, a product that we worked on, which was more of a still Web3 focus, but more of a Web 2.5, where we were able to make the interface a bit more less Bitcoinish or less crypto-ish, and made it look very easy for people who were everyday users to be able to access, buy or sell cryptocurrencies, and also adding layers of other products in there. And one of the most interesting things that we did at the time, which is very, very big now, was back in 2022, we launched stablecoin backed cards, where you could actually fund your cards with stable coins. I mean, in the background you kind of get what it is, but the front end, we were able to fund their cards with USDT, USDC and the likes, and they were able to spend it on different apps across the continent. Back then there was a bit more dollar shortage versus now, so it was hard for people to actually spend money outside of Nigeria. So that was something that we did that was quite interesting, that I loved personally. In the next couple of years, they're going to be at least, I think, about almost 100 million content creators. We want to have at least given out 1 million unique jobs to creators in the next 3 to 5 years. In the next 4 years, actually, we want to have given out 1 million unique jobs to creators, and we want to have paid out, right now, paid out about $2 million to creators on the continent. And in the next couple of years, we're thinking that in the next 4 years, we want to have paid out at least $10 million to creators across the continent, or even more. But that's kind of like our target number that we're looking at. My advice to other founders is pretty simple. It's not an easy journey, and I think that you run into brick walls constantly. You pretty much run into brick walls almost every month. But the main fact is that you need to stay in the game and not run away from your problems. If you have problems with your company, I think it's very important that you stay headstrong. If you know that you're in the right space and doing something great, you need to stick with it and just make sure that you can find a way to find product market fit as much as possible, and then scale it up from there. I think it's very important for people to understand that challenges come up with startups, particularly very often, and people just need to understand that you need to stay headstrong in it. If you're not really mentally there in terms of like being able to battle problems, and I don't think startups are for you. So if you're a founder and you really want to stay in that game, I think it's very important for you to make sure that you don't run away from your problems, you get them fixed as much as possible, and communication is very key to your team members and everyone else. My name is Akin, and I'm live with Nexus Tech Talk.